Well, good morning. This is Philip Gunn. I'm here today to speak to you on behalf of the House of Representatives. It's a pleasure to be with you here today, and I have just a few minutes to talk to you about some of the things that happened in the House of Representatives this last legislative session. I've got a limited amount of time. I wish I could discuss everything, but I cannot. So I'm going to pick three things today to talk to you about. The first is the pandemic and how we handled the pandemic in the House of Representatives. I want to commend all of my House members who fought hard to represent their people. We, of course, had to do the work. We took a little break in the session to try to allow the pandemic to die down. But at the end of the day, we had to do the work. And so we got back down to the Capitol. I thought we did some great things. I want to commend my House members who were willing to go forward and represent their people despite the adverse circumstances. I do want to talk a little bit about the financial condition of our state. Prior to the pandemic, we were in the best financial shape we've ever been in the state of Mississippi. The decisions of conservative Republican leadership over the last 8 years put us in a position to be ready to handle the crisis that came. As I said, we were in the best financial shape our state's ever been in prior to the pandemic. Obviously, through the pandemic, we suffered some financial loss, but because of the good shape we were in, we were able to weather that. And therefore, the budget that we came forward with was not as bad as it otherwise could have been. We did experience a few slight cuts across the state of Mississippi, but it was nothing that our agencies couldn't weather. We're now poised to go forward and be in good financial shape in the future. So I just wanted to tout the leadership of my legislators who had made those tough decisions over the last 8 years to put us in a position financially where we could weather the pandemic storm. The second thing I want to talk about was a big issue for the House of Representatives this year, and that's human trafficking. Human trafficking is a scourge on our state. There are so many things that are happening in our state that many of us don't even realize. I didn't even realize till a couple of years ago when I attended a Republican women function and they brought this issue to light. Unfortunately, in our state, it is a very real crisis, and not just in our state, but across the country. So this is an issue that we took on a couple of years ago. We basically handled this in two different halves, I call it. The first half was where we addressed the prosecution and the capture of the bad guys, those people who are extorting and exploiting our young people. Those people need to be prosecuted. They need to go to jail. So last year, through House Bill 571, we gave law enforcement the tools that they need to catch the bad guys, put them in jail, and rescue our young people. This year, we address what I call the second half. And the second half is, what do we do now that we've rescued these young people? How do we provide them treatment? How do we get them restored? Many of them have great needs financially, economically, psychologically, and we've got to do a good job of restoring those young people. So this year we took that task on through House Bill 1559. 1559 sets forth a number of ways in which these young people who have been rescued can be restored to as much of a normal life as we can help them get to. So I'm very proud of the House and the Senate who came together this year to pass that bill. That is going to now serve as we move forward to help our young people who are trapped in the scourge of human trafficking and hopefully restore them to as much of a normal life as we can get them to. And the final thing I want to address rising out of this last session was the vote to change the flag. Now, I know the flag is a highly divisive and highly controversial issue. For many people, the flag represents Southern heritage. It represents honoring their ancestors who fought bravely for the Confederacy. Some people just like the flag. So we don't ignore that. We don't discount that. We don't disrespect that. We honor those things. That is our heritage. That is our history. We don't need to forget that. But at the same time, we need to find a way that all of our state can unify and we can move forward. So unfortunately, the Confederate battle emblem has been co-opted by many people who choose to use it to represent a symbolism of hate, hatred, racism, and oppression. This is just a reality. It's a fact. And we've got to deal with that fact. That's not who we are as Mississippians. Mississippians pride ourselves on being the hospitality state. We pride ourselves on loving our neighbor. We love God, we love our neighbor. We help our neighbor. We are the most welcoming state in the nation to visitors. And hatred and racism is not who we are as citizens of this state. So it has become time for us to find a new symbol to represent who we are. Each day when we start the legislative session, we pray, open with prayer, and we pray to a God who created all of us in His image, who created all of us equal. We also say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now those are the things, that is the history that we need to preserve. Those are the things that we need to be proud of. And adopting a new flag, giving ourselves the opportunity to find a banner that unites all Mississippians, that puts all Mississippians under the banner and treats all equal is something that we should be for. I'm very proud of my House members who stepped up to vote for the change. This is going to unify Mississippians. This is going to give us a symbol that we can all rally behind. We're going to be better because of it. And if we're better, we're stronger. And we're going to be able to pursue what our founding fathers wanted us to pursue with liberty and justice for all. And we can pursue that more perfect union that our founding fathers wanted us to have. We're not a perfect state at all, but we're certainly striving to get there. So with the passage of the flag, I think we're now poised to take advantage of all of the potential that we as Mississippians have. I think we are now reflecting that hospitality state that we so pride ourselves in, and we love others and we love our neighbor. And this puts us in a great position to do that. Many of your House members had a lot of courage to step up and vote for that. It's a very difficult vote, very divisive, but it just makes the point. It is divisive, and it's now time for us to unify and rally behind something that brings all Mississippians together. Those House members who stepped up and cast that vote are people of courage, and they need to be thanked and respected. Thank you for the time that I've had to be here with you today. I'm sorry we don't have more time to discuss these things. Maybe we'll have opportunity sometime down the road to get together and talk about these things further. Thank you.